Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on which part of the world you may be. A warm welcome back to today's Kev Baker Show with yours truly, Kev and Dave Baker. And of course, we're going all the way around the world, from America to Australia and just about everywhere in between, coming to you live from under the Data Dome. Yes, in Smart City, Glasgow, Scotland. And thanks to Truth Frequency Radio, the Kev Baker Show is live and we are raring to go. I can't think of a better show to have to round out the week of KBS. Unfortunately, no Scotty Lopez today. He is having internet issues, but he assures me he hopes to have that cleared up by tomorrow for Freaky Friday. I have got just the show for all of you out there, because today we're coming to you under the half-blood Beaver Moon. Yes, indeedy. And let me tell you that this is going to be the longest lunar eclipse in 580 years when it comes to the Beaver Blood Moon. It says here, an almost total lunar eclipse that coincides with the full moon this week will be the longest for more than half a millennia. And the Beaver Moon lunar eclipse will begin at 7:18 a.m. on November the 19th, that's tomorrow morning, and last for just over 6 hours. Now, the sun's arrival shortly after it means that viewers in the UK will miss the peak eclipse, which begins at 9:02 a.m. and lasts for 3 hours and 28 minutes. The peak of the full moon, known as the Beaver Moon, as it is traditionally coincides with the Native American tribes setting their beaver traps, occurs at 8:57 a.m. GMT on Friday, but will appear full on both Thursday and Friday night. And not only that, but we're coming to you today from under the Aurora Borealis, which are lighting up the northern hemisphere right now. And it really sets the stage, doesn't it? It gets us ready for one of those shows. One of those nights with my good friend, Scary Mary Dusina, our resident astrologist and somebody who just brings an all-round good vibe to the show. She was born on Halloween, no less. And she is here with us once a month to talk to us about what's going on with these full moons. Mary, it is so great to be here with you today. How are you doing?
The heavens are speaking. Thank you, Kev. Hello, audience. It's live audience as well as the replays coming up. Kev, it's such an auspicious time, the way that heaven is kissing our Mother Earth right now. You know, the lunar eclipse is in the second sign of the Western zodiac, Taurus, and Taurus is Gaia, is the first Earth fixed element in the order of the wheel of the 12 signs in Western zodiac. So here we have Taurus, the bull, or the oxen from Ezekiel and Enoch. And what it has a lot to do with, which is all over the news, is a lot to do with our primal needs for this two-legged earth body type of a thing. We feed our children, we feed our dogs, we feed our farm animals, we feed ourselves. And so Taurus is the energy that's rising with this blood moon, and they're calling it a partial eclipse. But if you really get on Earth Sky News or Science Alert and Scientific American and NASA and JPL, you'll find out that it just missed being a total full blood moon by 3%. It's at 97%. So you know what 100% is, a full. So we're going to see the slivers, and this one is very close to the Seven Sisters, the Pleiades cluster. You research, when you do the etymology of the name Pleiades, it means to sail. In another culture, it means the doves, when you look across Japan or Thailand or the Middle East. So the stars, the aurora borealis, the beautiful colored breath of heaven coming in to actually kiss our Mother Earth, where we're all Earth citizens of right now, I really feel a major letting go, a purging of any psychic or psychological poisons. I'm going to say that again for the audience. It's a purging, a good time to let go in order to allow awakenings. Those things have been clogging your mind or ruminating your system, where you feel like that the stress is literally beginning to poke at your vital life forces, emotional, frustrations and impatience and anxiety. So this full moon, because you don't tell a bull to hurry up. You don't tell an ox or a bull or a cow to hurry up. They look at you like you do know whose pasture this is. So there's something about us allowing ourselves to linger, to pause, to take a deep breath, like even now, just to breathe in a serenity moment right here in our life. There might be a whole list of things that you've yet to do, another list of things that you wish hadn't happened, or you're still getting over the fact that they happened. But when you go through an illness, when you go through a near-death experience, when you survive some type of catastrophic life event, in this realm, the very least that you bounce back with is some type of awe, wonder, and you're changed. I mean, you're changed forever when you survive something that easily could have been death. And see, the sun right now is finishing up in Scorpio, Kev, and audience. So Scorpio is that whole thing of the first symbol of Scorpio, the scorpion, that as a creature in nature, when you study the behaviors and patterns of different animal totems or creature teacher totems, the scorpion in battle, if it feels it's losing, will sting itself to death before it lets most of the time, before it lets the other creature get to it. It takes its own self out. Then we go into the eagle of Scorpio, because we're still in Scorpio season until after this blood moon lunar eclipse at 26 Taurus opposing 26, 27 Scorpio. So what's happening is we've got to now realize that, and speaking of scorpions, I just have to give this sidebar, Kev. This week, there was apparently some kind of really unusual hailstorm and thunderstorms that happened in a part of Egypt, and the Egyptian government of that area had to tell the people to stay indoors because there was a mass exodus of giant scorpions. Now, I know there's desert creatures, but I never even associated a giant scorpion with Egypt. Maybe New Zealand, maybe Australia, the creatures grow big over there when they want to attack, or maybe the tropicals of Florida or something, or deep in the woods, but I never associated a giant scorpion invasion in Egypt. So that struck my attention, and you can find that on the internet. It's not conspiracy theory. It happened so much so that they told people to stay indoors because it was like everybody was getting stung and attacked and everything, and I'm like, wow. And that happened while the sun was moving through Scorpio.
More than 500 people were stung by scorpions, been flushed out by these storms that you're talking about. Just to back you up, Mary, one of the headlines in The Guardian.
Yeah, you can go find it. There's YouTubes on it now, actually filming it, which I didn't want to watch. But what I'm saying is, it's like, I look at these signs and wonders. So that's kind of the theme of this. The two themes of this, because a lunar eclipse goes for 3 months. So we're in the energy of what's orbiting around us now, both what we need to say farewell to, break up with, move away from, let go of, the tight clutch on a lot of times humans tend to think psychologically, the world can be so cray-cray. If I can just grab on, even if I'm not happy, if I can just stay in this job or stay in this relationship or stay right here in this town, even though the crime's increasing, if I can just stay right here because I need some semblance of familiarity, because we interpret that to be something secure in our world when everything seems to be high tide, low tide. So this scorpion phase that we're in the last part of the decan of Scorpio, and so in the middle of Scorpio, we go through the eagle phase, and the eagle is the bird that has the highest view in the winged one's kingdom. But then we go into what was brought back into fame by the Harry Potter series, the phoenix. And the phoenix is the bird that literally spontaneously combusts Like it literally just does the sacred fire, holy smoke kind of a thing, and then it rises up and it's reborn again after the death of the old. So Scorpio, right now, when you have a full moon, the moon and the sun are exactly opposite each other, and the zodiacal axis that's being highlighted are exactly opposite of each other. So it's yin. It's more of a magnetic frequency. You spoke about the northern lights, the magnetic fields. We have I think it's a class 3. Somebody will enjoy correcting me in the comments, I'm sure. But I just found out today there's a live feed of all the northern lights that are going on, and there's a class M3, class C3 type of, I'm not sure of that, so I'll admit it, but it's supposed to hit the Earth by Saturday. It's going on right now. So the northern lights, of course, will come into places that they don't normally hang out for a long time. So where the Taurus, the bull, is the grounding. It's like people say to me, okay, with these two signs, what's my best application to work with the themes of these two signs? So Taurus is what we hold on to, what we value, and how we can finally convince ourselves that we have a bit of security in our world. And think about the bull, up in Wall Street. So we think about the bull as a symbol, bull market. And so Taurus also has a lot to do, since it's the second sign. It rules the second natural zone, or house, as we call it in celestial speak, of the zodiac. And that's how you and I define what we deem to be a priority, to be a value, and how we choose to navigate or sail, like the Pleiades, to sail into something that we feel will bring even Earth-like material security to us, food on our table, the ability to have a roof over our head, to be able to get some nice new clothes, or to get a vehicle that you have some fun with instead of just trying to struggle to pay it off. So the actual resources right now are what Taurus is bringing to the forefront. And think about, in different parts of the world, people that constantly deal with starvation or hunger issues, that constantly are searching for any kind of clean water that won't give them parasitic issues. So this Taurus moon reminds us to take that breath and say, go more into what you're grateful for. Look around you right now, even if you're going through some struggles, a health report, a relationship, tsunami, a job you're not so sure is going to be the same. Look around for, did you eat today? Do you have some kind of safe abode? Is there someone in your life that is that friend or that confidant that will let you vent or will assure you, as bad as it looks, there's always going to be a brighter tomorrow? So I would suggest that Scorpio is saying to us, I'm triggering those deeper psychological awakenings, your soul sojourns, the journeys, what gives your life meaning now? When you combine Scorpio and Taurus, Scorpio's saying you've done it that way for a really long time, and you still have anxiety, and you're still searching in the same forest psychologically. It's always netted you that result. It's always been a trigger to create that psychological projection or that same type of pattern of now you see it, now you don't. Now you have it, now it walked away, or you had to let it go or send it on its way. So Taurus is reminding us that we have to be the ones. We have to be the ones that decide, this is Kev and this is Mary, and right now at this crossroads in my life, this is what I feel to be so rich and so valuable, and this is why I invest my meditation and my prayer and my allegiance with the divine, great spirit, Holy Spirit. This is why I deem my spiritual life to be the most valuable and the richest provider of the prosperity of my mind and my body and my soul. Now, I want us to be time travelers, and I want us to go back in time a little bit. To Kev's point, it's the length of this eclipse. It's the length of this eclipse that's an anomaly for the last 580 years, just like it was over 700 years that we had the Capricornian lineup of the planets in January of 2020. The last two times, write this down, the last two times that this 26 to 27 degree of Scorpio-Taurus, with Taurus being the full moon eclipse, there were two times. When I go further back, it was November 17th, 18th, so just prior to Thanksgiving week in 1994. 1994, that one was at 26 degrees of the bull. Then we move forward to November 19th and 20th, almost to the day, in some parts of the world it is, in 2002. So here's how astrology themes can benefit you. we're graduating from the things that were taken from us. What was taken? What were we given? What died? Like somehow, how was death a teacher? Death of a person, place, or thing, or relationship, or whatever it was, or your way of eating that you decided to go into health, or maybe you got into an addiction for a while. November of 1994, mid-November of 2002. Those events of those times, for those of you that are age appropriate, go back in time to where you lived. Did you move? Did you get out of school? Did you get into an intimate entanglement that was actually pleasurable, or was it just a hot mess?
Mary,
so look
Mary,
at those
Mary.
times.
Let me jump in. I'm going to jump in, right? Because
Please.
you mentioned November, mid-November 94, and it was around that time, winter 94, that I was still in nursing training, but hating it. And still wanted to join the army, maybe not as a nurse anymore. And that's when I walked out of college and walked into the old recruitment centre, and I was going through the process of joining the army at that stage. So that's a major dramatic change in anyone's life, I would say.
Yes.
And then you mentioned, was it the year 2002?
Yes.
That's the year my son was born.
Wow.
Yeah, so, I mean, making that what you will out there, folks, I think it's pretty cool. And, of course, everyone will have their own...
And you think about what you said, about you were in school.
Well, it was easy for me to remember, right? Because there was, like, such significant things around that time, Mary. It's like, it's easy for me to recall.
Is.
Yeah.
That's what this is. That's the only reason I walk my clients back when I'm teaching or doing seminars or working one-on-one with somebody. I'm like, let's walk back to your last reference point, because planets continue to orbit. You know, they continue to orbit. There's 12 signs and the planets that we work with in the celestial mechanics of things. And so those two times were the most recent times that out of 0 to 30 degrees potential for each one of the 12 signs, that's the last two. I didn't go back any further, but that's the last two that we had it within a degree of where we're experiencing. And as we listen to this and as we go out and look for this in my zone, I'll be able to see it about 4 o'clock in the morning. So the rain stopped, and I know that Mother Earth is going to allow the sky kisses to happen. It's going to turn really cold and frost, but I don't care. I want to go out and be under the star diamonds and the sky magic.
Yeah,
so when we go back in time...
be careful what you wish for, Mary. Be careful what you wish for, because we mentioned the Aurora Borealis earlier on, and woof, those things, I've got a kind of love-hate relationship with them because they almost got me in trouble. They did. You know, I was fresh out of the wrapping at my first post in the military. The Globetrotters 30 Signal Regiment. They go everywhere. And it was one of my first weeks there, and we were all on parade, and I'll never forget it, because they were asking for volunteers to go to Norway for winter. And to begin with, I thought, well, hang on, I better see if any of the ones that are here already, if they go for it. And then it got to that point where I thought, well, I'm the new guy. Maybe I should go for it. And I'm thinking, it can't be that bad. You got the Northern Lights up there. We'll get LOA, which is money for being abroad. And as soon as I stuck my hand up, it's one of the few occasions that I remember in the military where you could hear a collective sigh of relief. Because everyone knew what I'd let myself in for. 3 months for harsh winter, living with Marines in snow holes. But I did get my Northern Lights. I did get that experience, Mary. It was a kind of silver lining to every cloud, I suppose.
I have always believed, and I have always believed, perhaps it's a former walkabout, that it's truly like a lot of the indigenous cultures speak about how the many ways is that heaven, you know, as above, so below, how heaven meets up with and either fights with or kisses our Earth Mother. And this is that eclipse in the Earth Mother in nature. You know, so the most simple, profound, obvious way to get healed right now, if you've got the monkey mind and you're overthinking and you're losing your sleep because you can't shut the mind off, just do something in nature. I don't care if it's just a little walk around your place, you know, just get out into nature. That 10 to 15 minutes, I take longer than that, but that 10 or 15 minutes to go out and connect right now while the heavens are speaking and there's that magnetic, beautiful geomagnetic storm. We have electrolytes, that's what they're called, and we have both electrical and magnetic components and qualities within this fire of our spirit within this earth temple. And so when we have these stellar events, like we're coming up on the Gemini meteor showers that start cranking by December 9th. This lunar eclipse is right next to the Pleiades, and it's actually making a kiss of a conjunction to the fixed star of Algol. And Algol is the Arabian name. The story that you'll be familiar with is Medusa. And so this is right next to that star, and so each one of the constellations have like myths and legends.
Well, the Pleiades,
and so,
that's really close to home for the audience here, because we've had Auntie Luna on to talk about the story of the Pleiades, and they say this is like women's business over in Australia, the original people. And
really?
Yeah, very much so. Very, very central to a lot of their dreaming. And the Pleiades, for me, yeah, there's definitely something to that. And I was thinking as you were talking there as well, Mary, and it ties in with Luna and native peoples. But, you know, can you imagine? I want people to even, if you're not driving, close your eyes right now and just think what it would be like. You know, strip everything back to nature and then put yourself under these northern lights, or put yourself under a red blood full moon. And it's hard to imagine what that must feel like, right? But when there was nothing here and it was just those people, I would love to know what energies they literally felt. Like, they literally probably felt changes in the environment because they were so attuned to what was going on, and there was none of the electromagnetic smog that we go about producing nowadays. I often wonder that, Mary, what it must have felt like, just that primitive feeling, you know?
Yeah, when you talk to those older cultures, when you talk to people that deal with farm animals all the time, when you talk to shepherds in the field, when you talk to hunters, you know, when they're tracking coyotes or different things that they deem to be either for food or too pernicious, they talk to you about the effects of the moon. You know, I'm not a hunter, so you know, I remember the first time when I was over near Asheville, there was this one hunter. And he was talking about how his job, he was often hired by the farmers to come in and eradicate, you know, when the coyotes got too prolific. You know, some farmers would have donkeys that would actually chase out the coyotes, but he was like paid a certain amount to take them out, and he was traveling there from Georgia or something, and he said, oh, they lay in wait. And he said, and their ferocious time to hunt, because I was concerned about a hound dog I had. He said their ferocious time to hunt is by the light of the full moon. He said that's when they'll gather up like probably a week or 2 weeks worth of food. He said, so animals are very, like you're speaking about, and I think about biblically the shepherds in the field and the magi, you know, the magi from 3 different places, you know, Egypt and Persia, and, you know, the magi that followed those stars, the Inuits and Eskimo, you know, the cultures, when they look at the stars as the shining eyes of their ancestors, and how that's evidence for them, to the Inuit, that their ancestors truly are always looking upon them, watching them in the darkness, and even though they've slipped their skin, they're still walking alongside them. So our ancestors are with us always, whether we met them in a physical life or not, like our spiritual beliefs. Taurus also talks to you about your spiritual beliefs. Where's your soul anchor? You know, when you like the Paul McCartney song, when I find myself in time of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me. Mother, the matriarchal Earth Mother, you know, our physical home, from whatever we choose to argue or disagree about or agree about, where we came from the heavenlies or the spirit, you know, what was the essence of the spirit that granted us this incarnation, this walkabout, and what is it that feeds your spirit is what the Scorpio part of this cycle is saying to you. When's the last time you had that called in the Christ consciousness? For those people in Thailand right now, and the Sikhs, the Hindus, the Sikhs, this is a holy festival that's happening with this full moon. So it has a lot to do with, this is where they put the lights in the boats and they go along the water over in Thailand and certain parts over in the eastern aspects of the planet. So there are, on this big Earth Mother, there are those that are getting over grief. There are those that are bouncing back from an illness, thank you, God. There are those that are seeking, whenever life does get crazy and twisted and not fair, and shock and awe happen to you instead of the awe and wonder, where do you go? Where do you go to have resolution and to have soul and spiritual peace? Because Scorpio is that psychic surgery. When I talked about purging poisons, I want you to each think about, if I had to think of anything in my life that seemed to be a habit of how I would self-poison or I would self-destruct in my life with that temper, that attitude, that, and like, Kev, you were brave enough to listen to your intuition and walk away. Like it was the death of you going to school just to do the nursing thing. You walked away from it. You dropped the guillotine. So that's what I mean as when I talked about those cycles of 1994 and 2002. What do we say? That's it. I'm leaving this. I'm breaking up with this. I'm walking away. I'm out. Peace out. Not doing it. So we let that die.
Mic drop
in order
moment.
for us to birth.
We'll be back on the other side with Mary Dusina. We're going to be opening up the phone lines as well, folks. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
I don't think that I can stay here anymore.
We've got 3 minutes, Mary, if you need to go and get a drink of tea, coffee, juice.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
We will be right back.
Thank you.
And a big shout out to Mr. Jones, who's been planting by the signs for the past 20 years. That's what I call walking the talk, brother. Hit like and share, ladies and gents, and I'll be giving out the numbers you need to call Mary when we come back from the break. It's always good to have Mary Desina in the house. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to today's little shot of positivity. Wow, that is exactly what Mary Dusina brings to the table every time she comes on KBS at the time of the full moon. Now, that's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be a particularly special moon. If you're just joining us, that's what we're talking about here today. But if you like Mary and you want to hear more of her, she also appears with Joe Roop. So, Mary, tell people how they can get a hold of you, where they can hear you with Joe.
It's at the new moon, so it's the Kev Baker Show every full moon, and it's the new moon when the sun and moon are in the same sign when I'm on Lighting the Void, which is Joe Roop's show that he does where he can hopefully help us light the darkness of our life. So the new moon shows it's cosmic conditions both places, but at the new moon, that's when the sun and moon are in the same sign, and so we talk about what we need to launch and what we need to initiate. At the full moons, generally speaking, it's about being able to let go of where you feel you're being held back or clogged. And if you don't mind, there's a lot to unpack with this. I just want to kind of help out the signs, especially for the replay, before we go to the phones, if you don't mind, Captain Kev.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I wanted to finish about when you do etymology on what stars it's next to. Now, all of you can go to like earthsky.org and you can type in the meaning of the sisters of the Pleiades and how they were involved in their Titans and Atlas and all of that and their story, because you'll find, like any fairy tale or fable, that this eclipse is right next to the seven sisters. And there's a lot of mystical and spiritual awakenings that a lot of people talk about with the number 7 and also with the Pleiades. So go look that up. It'll be something fun for you to do. And it's also next to the fixed star, Algol, Algol. So in sky lore, and I love all the space sites for that, in sky lore, each one of these fixed stars, like there's a swan and there's there's a cow and there's Sirius the dog and the dippers. There's all kinds of, and actually the Pleiades make the small dipper. So the Algol is exactly the degree where this eclipse is lighting up as well. So we go back into Greek or Roman mythology, and in Greek mythology, it's Medusa, the Gorgon. She was a type of a creature called a Gorgon in the myths of Greek myths. Medusa had snakes for hair, and Medusa was known, think about Scorpio. Scorpio, the sign, rules hypnotic, attractions, deep, deep, deep desires. And if we take that dark, the temptations that lead us down into more of a demonic or more of a dark vampirical type of modus operandi. So Medusa was known for her gaze. And even though her hair was living snakes, if she looked at you and focused on you, there was all kinds of problems for you. There's all kinds of different versions of her. But the legend about her appearance was she was both so hypnotically terrifying as well as some type of allure about her that if anyone even looked directly at her and got into her gaze, they turned to stone. That's the most, so there's the earth element, stone, crystals, rocks. Now the star Algol takes its name, when you research it back, from the Arabic. And the Arabic Middle Eastern word interprets Gogol to be the demon's head, or literally the ghoul. Instead of ghost, when we use the word that was ghoulish or a ghoul. So this is all around this fable and legend of Medusa, the Gorgon, and like there were centaurs that'll be associated with our next sign, Sagittarius, the healing centaurs, the half man, half horse in mythological tales and what their particular tribe did. But the Medusa, you think about the snakes and how snakes have a lot to do with vipers can bite you, and I talked about purging poisons. They can inject a type of infectious energy spiritually to where you seem to bring out the worst in yourself and your partners and everyone around you, and people are looking at you going, get a grip. What's going on with you? So I'm going to tell you, as a celestial mechanic of over 35 years, there is a light and a dark to each one of the recipes of the constellations and the signs. And Taurus can be greedy. Taurus can be emotionally needy, like they're not happy unless they're somehow sucking some of your attention out every day, but they relax when they know they've got money. That's that first earth sign. They relax when they know they've got stuff and they've got money, and they don't like to go reach for something, and they gave it away trying to think they'll clutter their closets, and ends up being the very thing that they needed the next week to put something back together. So Taurus has a hard time letting go. And this eclipse is then asking us, what do we need to purge? At full moons, we let go. So what is it that we might be better off with, ultimately be a better, best version of ourselves if we didn't engage or get engorged in too much of something that brings us into sloth or avarice or laziness or procrastination. It's like, Taurus can get into a rut, and they really get anxious if you break them out of their familiar pattern. They don't do well with a lot of surprise and, don't.
Oops. I lost the call. Hold on, folks. Hold on. Apologies there. Let me try and get the network back. Hey, hang on now. There we go. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. I pressed the wrong button there. So I did, and I'll hook us up with Mary. Don't panic. She's coming back. She's coming back. And there we go. Add that. Hopefully we'll get Mary on the phone in just a second. Oh, trust me to press the wrong button. Where are we? I am here. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me. Mary's probably speaking away to herself over there somewhere. Let me just message her on the Facebook. Let me try that. Oh dear. The Beaver Moon. It's having its effect, ladies and gentlemen. It's having its effect. There's definitely a disturbance in the force here. We'll try to get Mary back on the call. Nightmare. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me. Let me try that. Let me try that, see if she'll come back in now. But yes, we're talking about this full moon that's going to be upon us tomorrow. Quite disappointing that it's not really going to be anything to talk about in the UK because of the timing of it. But if you are in a part of the world where you get to see that, pretty cool stuff. And over the recent years, I'm thinking over the past 5, maybe 10 years, every time we get one of these blood moon things coming around, it's like we reach conspiracy peak, right? There's always something associated with the upcoming blood moon and what's going to be going down and stuff like that. I've not been paying too much attention this year, but I'd be very surprised if that isn't the case, because it seems to be the thing that happens year after year now. I would imagine if there's any groups out there, more nefarious kind of groups, they probably do a bit of jumping around in their cloaks and doing ceremonies out in the woods this time of year underneath the Beaver Moon, no less. And let me try again to reconnect with our very good friend Mary. Let me see here. We've got it all going on here, troops, eh? Let's see. Mary Dusina. There you go. There she is. Let's try and call that. Calling Mary. Yep. Because Mary needs to hang up. Mary needs to hang up the call on TFR. If Mary can hear me, you need to hang up the call, Mary. Okay, so I'm going to hang up on the studio. I'm going to try and call Mary back first. Mary's still talking to the studio, I believe, folks. The joys of me making a mistake. Eh? Note to self. Note to self. Don't press that button again. Hopefully we'll get through here. Hopefully we'll get through and then we can add in the network. Come on, Mary. Mary. I've had somebody messaging me to say that they can still hear Mary on the network. So I think Mary's still on the network. It's just she needs to hang up so I can call her again, as we can see. So you're stuck with me until then, folks. I hate to tell you that.
Hello, hello.
There you are, Mary. My bad. I pressed the wrong button. Now let me add in the network. Give me 2 seconds. I believe you were talking away and nobody... You were there, but I wasn't. Here we go. Here we go. I think we've got it sussed, folks. And just like that, by the grace of technology. Mary, I thought I'd lost you for the full show there. I was in full panic mode. The audience...
Oh, no. Full.
Oh, the audience were sitting there. They were... I was getting a message from TFR saying we can hear Mary and you talking over the top of each other. And I'm thinking, oh, Mary's going to do the full show just talking away. But here we are, Mary. Here we are. And is there... There's none of that Mercury retrograde going on right now, is there?
No, it's absolutely a lunar eclipse, and I think it may have cut off when I was talking about Mercury being the postal mail carrier. You know, how the news gets to us, words and what we seek to somehow grant us security. So let me say this: Taurus makes things last, and we tend to want to make it last because we like it. It's our favorite blanket. It's our favorite hat. It's our favorite scarf. It's our comfort meal. That's Taurus, the pleasure in the moment. And we've got Jupiter in Aquarius, and we've got 3 planets. We've got a trilogy in Scorpio saying, let the Taurus trust that pleasure can come forth by you also being a journeyman that excavates and exfoliates that which tends to birth continual insecurity or frustration or impatience. If you're a Leo or an Aquarius right now, you are the second 2 out of the 4. Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, or Aquarius are most affected by how this full moon lunar eclipse, which is 90 days, 90 to 100 days, so I'm going to go 3 months. It's close at 3 months, so we're looking at this again in the 3rd week of January of how we've graduated from this moment right here in November of 2021. So if you're a Leo, there's going to be work interruptions or changes that have to do with career, your participation more or less. It can be a plus or a minus, but it's all centered around, will I be working here still or not? How is it going to affect the household if I'm not working right now? So that's the Leo quagmire. And if you're Aquarius, you've got Jupiter in your sign, so you're probably trying to just staying quiet because life is a little easier for you. The only little iggle I see for Aquarians is that there's some real eye-opening going on with certain relatives or family members, and it might be one of those, as we say in the South, Sunday come to meeting bunch where you square off with somebody and say, let me tell you what's happening up in here. What's not going to happen that way anymore.
Nice.
In Italian, we would look at it and we would say, are you talking to me? You sure you want to be talking to me that way? So there's, you capisce? So there's an element of the 4 signs that are most highlighted. Taurus, the moon's in your sign. Scorpio, the moon's opposite the sky from you. Leo, it's all about prosperity versus purpose and versus what's going on with the career. And if you're Scorpio, it has a lot to do with significant others. If you're Aquarius, it has a lot to do with you need to clean out your closets with your family. You've either been abusing a family member too long or you've been taking too much stuff. You've been taking
Mary,
too much crap.
that whole are you looking at me thing, that's just an everyday in Glasgow, and that's just how we roll. Yeah, we just all go about scowling at one another, that's all it is, man.
That's funny. So basically, the 4 signs that have to really look at what is God, what is Great Spirit, what is the mystery and the passion and the purpose and the pursuits of this life, trying to glean insights into your world. Now, I do feel with all that's going on with the heavens, the meteor showers and Venus, and Jupiter up there gleaming, and Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn up there, but you can see right now, and some people even some of Saturn's moon. It's just I've never seen such an active time. It's not that a lunar eclipse wouldn't be enough, but there's so much going overhead. The northern lights you mentioned, and the trio of planets just after sunset over in the southwest. If you look southwest from your location, I mean, there's just this particular length of eclipse hasn't happened in over 580 years. So I know when the store gets packed with a lot of extra items on the cosmic shelf, and then I know just from a regular lunar eclipse, we're looking at 3 months ahead, 2.5 to 3 months ahead. there's things right now that it's healthy for us, it's spiritually invigorating for us to go back to how you talk to and reach to the divinity of your divine source, your God, your maker, how you might focus more on stress management and nutrition and actually caring about how much or what it is you're putting into your earth vessel. Earth, Taurus, it's our vessel that we're breathing through and that we're taking in nutrients, and we're hoping to detox and to keep our immunity strong and not just survive but to thrive. So right now is a really good time to look at what your physicality principles and disciplines are or aren't. You know, if it's time to back off the sugar or a little less wine, and we're coming into holidays in a lot of places, so that's not so easy.
Don't take the wine away, Mary. Don't be doing that.
I won't. All in moderation.
Glasgow
all in moderation.
will melt down if you take our wine away. Come on.
No. You have to take it away. Don't have to take it away. You just need to look at, am I choosing it before I have something nutritious to eat? Maybe I could also counterbalance how any alcohol, Algol, turns into sugar chemically in the body. Maybe I could at least have some cheese, or I could have some olives, something that would counteract just the sugar buzz, and then you can enjoy the high and be committed to the ride a little bit longer.
I like it. So, Mary, before we go any further, I'm going to give out the number for the first time today, and then we'll start to take calls after the break. But the number that you need, and it's what makes these shows with Mary so extra special, is that we managed to cram in so many of your calls. In fact, last time we opened up 3 segments. You've only got 2 segments this time. But the number you need is 213-233-3998. That's 213-233-3998. And you can put your questions to Mary, or you can just get her to give you a cold reading, what it is she gets coming through for you. So, Mary, before we go to the break, how about we dip our toe into the tarot card for Kev? I like this segment as well, yes.
That's right. First things first.
It's one of the perks of having my name on the door around here.
Absolutely.
I don't get many,
Joe knows that too.
Yeah.
Smart, savvy hosts know that too. But you're a class act, Kev. You never, ever overtake. You're such a giver. So if you could, Kev, if you would just, an audience, when it's your turn, even if you're in the queue, to be on hold, how you respect divine source is how in kind divine source, the lights of love and almighty I am will respond to you. So it's all about respect and homage. So when you're thinking about, okay, this is my moment in time under this lunar eclipse, it's poignant, I want to pause, and I'm about to receive some type of, neither one of us knew what was going to be said until this artistic card was chosen, and the imagery and the artistry and the colors and the intuition started to all coincide and bring me the message that would be medicine for me to contemplate and to allow healing to further anchor. So, Kev, you have the Queen of Diamonds, which is the Queen of Pentacles, and quite interestingly, she sits on the Earth throne, and on her actual throne, some decks have it pictured, the art is carved out of wood, others it's carved out of, like statuary type of stuff, but there are the bulls on the sign of Pentacles, because the first Earth sign out of the 12, the first is Taurus, then we follow with Virgo and Capricorn. So she's sitting in an opulent vineyard, speaking of the wine of time, and all the grapes are full. They're lush, they're hanging down, and so the vines did well for the crop, Taurus, that year as far as droughts and floods and fires could go. The vine not only thrived, it survived, and then it thrived and had treasure. So when you go back to medieval and Renaissance times, to have the crops be lush, this is a lush, your garden of life right now is very full and lush. Now, the fact that it's a queen pulls in the feminine yin energetic signature of the earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, and it also speaks about that who Kev would deem as the queens in his life, would that be a daughter or a mother or your wife or your significant other. So the queens, the powerful women, a queen is a powerful woman. She rules something. She oversees something. She has a kingdom. So those that you would see, boy, she's really the queen of that, or boy, you definitely got your game on with that. The queen life. This is the Queen of Pentacles. She's the Queen of Diamonds. And so she brings a prosperity, Taurus. She brings value and riches and prosperity to you. So it can have to do with how they run a house, how they raise their child, how they keep things stable when the world gets crazy outside in the actual material world. So she's an anchor. Whoever this is, she's an anchor. And I feel like that she's got a really savvy head on her shoulders. She's sharp, as well as she's able to remain patient. She has patience in the midst of turmoil and the storm waves that come in, the storm fronts that come into our life. And back to our Medusa. The only way, this all ties in, having a good head on your shoulders, the only way that Gorgon, Medusa, could, as the legend went, could die was if her head was cut off. And there's that, Jason of the Argonauts holding up the snakes were still alive and the eyes were like no longer could hypnotize you. And Medusa, the monster of Medusa, the demon aspect of Medusa was conquered by the good. So we're conquering the good. So whatever cards you get tonight, I believe under this lunar eclipse and the Jupiter and Aquarius is going to show us what's the good medicine in our life. Like you talked about bringing a positive show, bringing a positive, encouraging, uplifting news. So instead of us focusing on what's not been working or what's not been moving forward, Taurus is saying to us for the readings tonight, very specifically, this isn't just a once-a-month show. It's historic. It's going to be epic, not because of me or Kev, but because it's that epic thing going on with heaven and earth. But the messages you received tonight and the feeling.
Absolutely because of Mary Dusina. You do raise the bar. Yeah.
And Kev, you make it all happen in Truth Frequency Radio. Thank you. But I really believe that I go back to the most positive thing I can think about all these, how heaven is speaking right now. Behold, there are signs and wonders, heavenly signs and wonders and almighty grace that we'll behold if we will but see. I just keep getting there's that ice cream on the top of the dessert. That's what's going on with the heavens. It's always to the wise men or the shepherds or the prophets or Joseph the dream interpreter. They always look to the above, the higher aspects of themselves. What's over our head is our higher mind and our higher thinking and the higher love in our heart. How do you connect in with the wisdom of the invisible, the wisdom? How do you know something works for you? By trial and error and by memory and impact. So that's what this is right now. The readings tonight are how can you get to the point that you see it's a sign, you are the wonder, and the awe will come when you involve the supernatural, when you involve that which is holy or sacred. That's the recipe.
I love it. I love it. Now, we're going to take one call before we go to the break, Mary.
Absolutely.
You fancy that? Here we go. This is the start of the madness. Not that the callers are mad, but I just mean the amount of people that call in is crazy. They're already lining up here. I think we've got 7 or 8 on the line, but we're going to area code 661. A warm welcome to today's Kevin Baker Show with me, and you are on with Mary Desina.
Hello.
Hi, Mary. Hi, Kevin.
Hi there.
I am Christopher. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing very good,
well.
Christopher. Do you have a specific question, or would you like to enjoy whatever the message is intuitively that's meant to be for this full moon night?
I will go ahead and enjoy and take in the message that you have for me.
Thank you, Christopher. Take it into consideration for all these messages, how they can prompt you, not just poke you, but prompt you into a higher truth and actually be able to climb over the hurdle. What you have is the 10 in the artistry of the oracle of the tarot. When you go back into the earliest times of tarot or the cave drawings and the kings and queens with their artistry and their oracles, the 10 is a new beginning because it's a 1 and a 0. So it's the first one of the 2-digit numbers when we're starting to escalate and count more numbers. And this is the suit of wands, which in regular playing cards would be the club. So here we have a man that's enjoying using his strength, being able to carry the 10 wands of illumination up the hill. He has one accompaniment in the card, and it's the lizard. There's a lizard walking along beside him. In Native American lore, when you go into totems and meanings of certain creatures, the lizard is a land crawler, and it has a lot to do with messages, magical, empowering messages coming through meditation and your dreams. So I see you at the end of some kind of burden. It's a heavy weight to carry all these wands are taller than him in the artistry of the card, and yet he's taking them to their destination. So you have walked on and walked through something that was maybe a trial by fire or a certain shadow aspect of yourself or someone else, and you're now coming to the end of all that hard work and all that you had to process, and some of it might have been hard to see, hard to experience, hard to walk away from, because there's that pause that we do before we just go, I'm out. So now I feel like that you're coming into, between now, late November, and mid-January, you're coming into the rebirth, and you're coming up again, and you're rising up.
Hold that thought. We're going to be right back, ladies and gents. Don't go anywhere. 1 hour down, 1 to go. And you can call in, join us after the break. Don't go anywhere.
What is it good?
There we go now. I'll put on the music, Mary, and then we'll be back in 3 minutes, okay?
Thank you.
Remember, folks, you can call into the show too. It's 213-233-3998. Yes, you can join me and Mary on Speculation Island. Yes, indeedy. And of course, General Bakshi is never far away. Mary is another big fan of the General. So I get ready for some of him coming up too.
Love him.
All of the callers, we've got about 10 people on the line. It's scary.
Well,
Mary.
We'll move fast.
That's right. We are back. We are live with Mary Dusina, and we are going to jump right back into the callers. We had Christopher or Chris on the line before the break. You're back with us now. Mary, you're on with Chris. Anything else to give him, or is that your...
I feel like it's a rite of passage, and I'll wrap it up by saying that whatever's gone on, especially over the last maybe 16 months that he's been processing, I feel like truly the worst is over, but it's like coming out of that cocoon or the chicken coming out of the egg. It's a whole different life walk now that you're not locked up in the egg or you're not the caterpillar in the cocoon. Something sometimes dies, something sometimes has to be let go of or to go away, and that's that term that they kept telling me. My guides kept telling me the theme between the beginning of this month, the new moon of November 4th, and to right now, and I certainly feel it's applicable to Christopher, is that death somehow becomes a teacher. So I feel like he's gone through what had to be shed or let go, and now what he's emerging into from now toward January is a whole new life walk, a whole new experience. And it might be well to write some notes down, Christopher, because it feels like it's pretty profound.
Yes, I would have to agree. It's very fascinating, and yes, it does resonate very strongly. It's very meaningful, and I really appreciate this a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Christopher.
Sir. Thank you.
Bless you.
What a brilliant way to open up today's calls. And listen, I dare not give the number out again, but I will. The number is 213-233-3998. It's 213-233-3998. And we're going to area code. Let's see where we are now. Area code 805. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Kate. Hi, Mary. Thank you both for taking my call.
Hi
Thank
there.
you, sir. Would you like a card, or do you have a
My name is
question?
Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. My name is Jason, and I was wondering if you can pull a love card for me.
Wow. My hand to God, the card that fell out is the Two of Cups, because people sometimes will have a topic, work, health, relationship. The Two of Cups, in the meaning and the study of the pictorial dances of the cards, is that it's the Two of Hearts. Most early tarot readers don't realize that the Two of Cups is more powerful of deep resonating love, lasting love, if you will, more than the Lover's card. Because in the Two of Cups, we have the lion, Leo, with wings, Aquarius. We have a winged lion that's watching guard over the coming together of this pairing, of this couple. And so on the card, there's often the yin-yang offering a chalice to each other, unlike the Lover's card where Archangel Raphael is above them and they stand unclothed in front of each other getting ready to dance the trance dance of sensuality. But the Two of Cups is that point of knowing, no matter who we've mated with in our life, prior or future, the knowing of like this right here. This is a key that unlocks me to the better part of myself. This is a key that I want to open for them out of my love and what I can bring to the table. So the Two of Cups is known as the soul mate card, not the twin soul card. So this has to do with together you'll be joined in a partnership, to answer your question, that will have more to do with how strong you are as a team rather than two people that came together to form a relationship and have oneness with each other. So there's something about the work you'll do, the things that you'll be hand in hand, walking in step, walking compatibly forward in whatever you choose to make the world a better place because of. Because there's something in you that you've already decided with your intuition and your spirituality. Once I find the mate of this particular lifetime, I got a lot of good stuff I'm going to do. I want to get that settled in my life. That's what I'm interested in. You're not interested in numbers. You're interested in the one.
You're so welcome. Thank you very much, both of you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for calling in. This is brilliant. As always, now we're going to area code. Let me see here. It's 908. Welcome to the show, 908. You're on with Kevin Mary.
Hello?
Hey,
Hello?
there you are. Who are we speaking to? Are you there?
Where'd she go? Where'd she go?
Hello?
Hiya.
Yeah. Can she hear us?
I hope so.
Hi, Mary.
You're on.
Hi, Mary.
Yes, you're on. You're on with Kevin and I. Yes, there you are. We got you. See, Kevin, there's like these little full moon things that are canceling out the energy briefly, but we're forging
getting
ahead.
there.
So would you like your card picked, my dear?
You know, I've been having really weird dreams, but I'm going to let you decide that.
Spirit's leading me right back to tell me the dream real quick. It's taking me back to there's something about the dream needs to be answered.
Okay, now.
Are you stuck on a particular theme?
This was in the dream.
Go ahead.
It was a volcano, and there was Jesus Christ walking up onto it, and I was with Mary, but we couldn't get to him. But it was going to be okay.
I interpret that as holy fire, holy smoke, like not unlike the priest when he puts the frankincense tears, which are little frankincense resin rocks, in his thurible as he walks down the church to sage, if you will, and purify the church. So the fire, the volcanic fire, has to do with pressure is being released from the earth, and so earth releases, in the fire. Sometimes it's a tsunami, sometimes it's a volcano, but it's the pressure coming from way down underneath, finally coming up to either spew some fire or maybe even lava that comes from the inner depths. So keywords, inner depths, higher walk, climbing up the side of a volcano, higher walk. The Master Jesus was there, and the fire was erupting, but it was all going to be okay. And so it's moving upward, climbing, fire, the element of passion and our spirituality and sacred fire and what it gives purpose and a seasoning of a richness to a life. Taurus, what's making this life rich? What's giving this life meaning? It's wonderful that there's an ascended master that shows up in a dream, particularly one I'm comfortable with or familiar with. And so the Christ consciousness is saying, I'm here. So to me, when it comes to Christ consciousness, I don't have to get right up next to the actual Christ consciousness or at the man, that resurrected. I don't have to do that. I'm real grateful just to see it, for it to come to me. See the difference? I don't need anything from it because everything just happened that it appeared in a dream. So that's a big blessing for you.
I feel so good.
Yeah, it's definitely an awakening. Go ahead, honey.
Yeah,
Are you there?
Yeah, we're really probably going to have to speed things up here as well, Mary, because we've got...
we've got so many calls on the line because it's the full moon. Take it as the Christ consciousness appeared to you and has more light, more revelations, and more holy fire to help any twisted places get straightened out. That's what I feel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling in. I feel lousy for moving on so fast. But
No.
needs must.
No, Kev, you're right, because if you do too much, they're not getting the purpose of the purpose of the poignant pause, and we just had a caller talk about Christ appearing in a dream. So that's something that's really big. And let me say this as we go to the next message that's coming out tonight could apply to all of us.
Now, could you say that again? Because
if we're hearing someone say it, caller, me, Kev, if we're hearing something being said, it's a pertinent message on such a busy heavenly sky tonight. So in a sense, all the messages, all the readings can bless all of us.
Absolutely. So let's go to our next caller. It's area code 785. Welcome to the show with Kev and, more importantly, Mary.
Hello?
Hey, hello, good to speak to you. You're on with Kev and Mary. Mary, over to you.
Hello, dear. Thank you for calling and thank you for holding. Yes.
This is Tayden
Hey, it's Scotty Lopez's mum.
Hey, How
Yeah.
are you guys doing?
Big
Oh, I
shout
love
out
it.
to
Hey,
you and Scotty.
I was calling to find out, like, so I have a son who is under a lot of stress and sees shadows and hears things, and I was wondering if there's any way is there anything that says how I can help him?
What a great question. And see how applicable is that to so many people that are hearing it tonight and will hear it. First and foremost, this is your son, so you are the matriarchal temple. Whether it's a biological son, an adopted son, a foster son, it's your son. So we look at another word that sounds like that, S-O-N phonetically to S-U-N. So you are a light in his life. Number one, light overcomes the darkness all the time, every time. To human or to limited third dimensional eyes, it might not always look like the light is beside us or the light is available or the light's going to conquer the particular time-tested type of trauma or darkness. But the thing with light and the thing with getting sacred assistance is we've got to ask. So you're calling to ask on behalf of, and part of your prayer work, your meditation work could also be to, where two or more are gathered, there am I in the midst of them. So like Kev and I and you can join in heart harmony with the regeneration and the resurrection of your son, not ever having this quagmire, this taunting, or this feeling like rebuking the shadows, so to speak. So every implement of light, meditation, gratitude, inviting and summoning how you deem holy light, like for me, I go right to, for me, it's Holy Ghost, boom, come. Holy Ghost, Holy Spirit, come here now, I surrender to you, period. That's the first place I go is the divine fire, the second baptism by fire. So that takes care of everything for me supernatural, even when I had different phases in my life of the darkness and the lures and the vampirical temptations wanting to stop me continuing on my path of light to help people. So you're a very important key, but maybe also joining your son and being able to maybe put your eyes on those kind of books, those kind of passages, those type of uplifting, medicinal type of words, Indigenous, Bible, whatever it is that you feel like gives strength to the spirit is exactly the first place I would go, because there's such a thing that was said, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. So everything that has to do with the uplift, the ascension, and of light, and for me, that always starts with, I'm so grateful for, and then fill in the blank every day, maybe several hours a day. Thank you, I'm so grateful for this. Instead of what I didn't get, what didn't happen, what got away, thank you for what I have this day. That's going to cure him. And I will join you long after this phone call. I will join you on that holy fire being right there in your corner and available for you.
Why do you think it would be? It's always around this time of year where it really amps up. It happens to him all the time, but it really amps up, and he just ignores it. He doesn't. He's got to the point where he just really doesn't focus on it or anything. He just oh, okay, and walks off. But I just,
well, it shuts him down. He may not fully be aware of how it affects him. But let me say this to you: that's a wonderful observation on your part, that it always seems to happen at a particular time. It can have to do with an old trauma, an old wound. Short form of the answer is it's wonderful that you've got a key, so you know now to always add more light, more enthusiasm at this time of the year for him. And I always will surround people with holy white fire or the golden light or the violet flame of transmutation. And you can go on to YouTube and type in healing color, healing meditations, and you can put it on real nice and low in the background if somebody's playing computer games or whatever. If you get to be around him, it'll not only recalibrate you, but you can then project that light and that love onto him. There's always starting points, and the more that you do different little ways of looking at it, you're not locked into only seeing it the way it once was. Does that make sense?
Mary, as well, is this what it's like for like a teenager when they do have that kind of sixth sense? This is just, it becomes normal, commonplace to them, and they just kind of take it in their stride. Because I've been listening to Scott's kind of stories as it's progressed, And it sounds to me like this young man's got some kind of clairvoyancy going on, seeing things that
Absolutely.
other people don't see, you know?
Very intuitive. So if it's natural to them that what would look like somebody's ignoring it or shutting down might be that that's their way that they're listening to the universe. You know, we have our outer
Yeah.
universe, and then we have our inner worlds. We have our inner verses. And so inner verses are like going in and listening to the songs of the soul, or looking at the eyes of the heart and trying to interpret what it is that the divine source is busy trying to get your attention for or give you messages with, because I feel a very high antenna, a high radar, like an omnidirectional type of intuition going on around your son. So I feel like he gets bombarded by a lot of things in kind of a gush of a rush of download data. And I feel like what would help them is just to be able to put something on, even at a low volume, behind them while they're busy think tanking and working on whatever projects they're working on, just to do one of those chakra cleansings or recalibration, or doing a little positive meditation of sleep hypnosis. Because I can tell you, I've bucked up against all that stuff in my life and learned it really, 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 really works. So it got me through a lot of things.
It's followed him. It actually has followed him to work now. You go in the bathroom and he sees shadows on the side like a wisp. He said it's just like a wisp. You know, so it's only.
Let me ask you one question, not for an answer. Let me ask you one question to finish, but not for just I don't want you to have to answer it now. Ask him, has he ever studied, learned, desired, or most importantly, decided, I'm done with you as my teacher, shadow people, I'm done. You go. You have no power here. I rebuke you by all that is holy and sacred and light. Be gone. You have no power. See, it's him summoning it away. It's him summoning in the seraphim and the archangel warrior helpers. We can love it all we want to, but he's got to make that decision of, I turned to Pain one day and said, Pain, you're not going to be my teacher anymore, but I have to turn to you with gratitude and say, this year with all the pain that I had from that accident and how I had to heal back from it, I get it. You were my teacher, Pain. Now I'm going to break up with you. I'm going to divorce you. Be gone. You have no power here. And all the pain from such an interesting accident went away.
Now, Mary and Tana, we're going to have to move on, or all these listeners are going to break up with all of us. But this is...
Thank you, listeners.
Yeah, this has been a brilliant call.
I appreciate y'all's time. I appreciate it.
Oh, no, thank you so much. And send my love to your family from my family, please.
Thank you, honey. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you for your time.
What a brilliant call. What a brilliant call. Now we're going to move on quick, Mary. We're going to have to we're going to have to be brutal and ruthless, all right? It's going to be bedlam around here.
We're going to do it. We're going to do it for the best of all of us that that held on the line. Think if you're call number 8. So next caller coming up.
Keep going higher.
Don't whine.
We have got
here we go.
Area code 828 on the line. I'm just going to put you right on with Mary Desina.
Hello, caller from 828.
Hello, Miss Mary. Kev, it's Lisa.
Lisa.
Okay, so hi, Lisa. Thank you for your loyalty, and I'm going to go quick because that's what the guides are saying to do. So thank you for your. Thank you. I know you can handle it. So you got a 7.
Yes.
You got the 2 cards fell out. I'm going to go quick, though. The 7 and the King of Pentacles. So we talked about with Kev, the pentacles are the diamonds. So it's but first there's the diamond in the rough that looks like a piece of coal or a piece of carbon, and then you polish it out, and there's these rare, valuable Taurus riches that come out of the earth's minerals and in her walls and her caverns. So the 7 and the King of Pentacles, again, we have the fruitful on the vine. There's something that's wanting to grow and thrive. There's been some kind of I believe answers are beginning to come in to what once was a frustration or a mystery. Spirit's telling me there are now going to be revelations and answers and conclusions that help get the smoke out of the way and that you can see clearly. Pentacles are always prosperous. They always have to do with our talents and prosperity. So I'm going to conclude by saying in no way is this a minus in your life, what's going on. This is a process. It's not a loss. It will be a gain.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sounds good to me.
Lisa, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you very
Y'all have a wonderful evening.
Oh, you too, Lisa. You too, and please call back again. Moving on to area code 703. Welcome to the show with Kev and Mary.
Hi, Kev. Hi, Mary.
Hello, 703.
Hi there.
My name's Robin, and I just want to say, Mary, I love your energy and your passion for reading and interpreting the stars. I think it's fantastic. And could you give me a general reading, please?
What I keep seeing, thank you for that. Thank you for the kindness and the tithe of your words.
That was a lovely thing to say. Very nice.
Yeah, it's very kind for her to wait on the line and then take her time to do that. Yeah, that's called savvy, classy. So I feel with you that there's something coming together. I'm not looking at just two corners. I'm looking at all four corners of a situation that's been on the move or a bit of a chaos or a circus sometimes, and it's definitely it's a swirl pool. Is what Spirit's saying to me. Like water, when you're doing energetic readings, the element of water, a psychic always looks at the water to see, is it troubled, is it serene, is it glassy? You look at the water just like a surfer does. And so I feel like that you've had a swirl, not a whirl, a swirl pool. What a swirl is the lesson keeps coming back to you, same lesson, different people, actors, actresses, circumstances. So I feel like that you've now got the swirl pool taken care of, and now you're grounded, moving into the pentacles, the element of earth, and this lunar eclipse, rarefied, epic blood moon. Let me remind the audience again, we're all going through a length of an eclipse that has not happened at this length for 580 years ago. 580 years ago. So those ancestors, those guides, that part of our DNA, RNA. So with you right now, I feel like that there's some epic, emotional empowerment and excavation going on with you, and you need to lean into that. You need to lean into letting your inner child incorporate with the future self and the adult you, and honor that, like do some kind of mental, psychological, hypnotic ceremony to where you say, I've got your back, inner child, and we're walking together, taking the hand of our future self, our powerful feminine self, and we're going to say life is good. And by the way, I'm your future self, waving here at you, I'm waving at you in 2021, but when you get over here 10 years from now, 2 years from now, I'm that future self that's kind of lighting the way for you. Lean in to the emotional stuff and let go, forgive as much as you can to you, with you, and whatever the circumstance was. Does not have to involve the other person that hurt you or traumatized you. They're not involved anymore. You got to get it out of you. That's the excavation.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you for your star guidance.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for a lovely call, and lovely. I love these calls.
I do
they've
too.
got such a positive vibe, just like
They're
Mary
medicine.
does.
They're medicine.
Absolutely.
They're medicine for all of us.
One more before the break. We've got area code 415. You are on the line with Mary.
Hello, 415.
Hi there, Mary and Kev. It's so nice to see you. This is Carmi, and I'm in California.
Nice.
Well, that
Carmi.
matches.
Yep.
Carney in California. So she's on the west direction of the medicine wheel. So when you live in the west, as one talks about, Texas and California being in the west of this side of the pond, it has a lot to do with what I call our SOs in our life, our significant others, and our oversoul selves, like the soul, SO of the soul, and also the significant others that will cross our paths and hug us and kiss us and stay with us, and then sometimes have a reason or a season and be gone after we wish they would be gone, and also sometimes abruptly. So I feel with you that part of this last 5 to 6 years has been about anchoring your priorities and what you value, like some people call it, what's your love language? So there's something you've been really looking at about what you really know as a signal and a sign of what's more of a stable, back and forth, reciprocity, stable type of partner, someone that you can do things with in a prosperous, productive way. That's Taurus. That's this eclipse. So I think that you've kind of been leaning in to looking psychologically at what you're liking and what you're getting ready to purge. I think you're pretty sharp on that. You seem like you've got a sharp ability to do with intuitive acumen and psychology. But yet I feel like you're shifting now to the north. So why do I feel like that? You know why you feel, and make a quick statement because I know we got a lot of callers, but it feels to me like you're now going to pursue the path of what your soul and your star of this beingness wants you to do. And if a partner wants to get involved or likes that you do it or doesn't, you're going to do it. You're going to do what you need to do now.
Yeah, I am in the process of a big change, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Your affirmation is going to be to thine own self be true.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, honey. Happy full moon.
Thank you. You-
Awesome stuff. I like that happy little giggle there. That is a good way for us to round
Giggles
out.
welcome. Giggles welcome.
Wow,
Yeah.
we like the giggles. Bring them in
I do too.
abundance. Yes, indeed. And we're going to come back after the break and we're going to find some way to get through 7 callers. Yes, 7
We're gonna
people
do it.
waiting on the
We're
line.
gonna
We
do-
will do it because we are like that. We're not going to leave anyone out today. Join us after the break. Don't go anywhere. 1 segment to go. There we go, folks, and we'll be back in 3 short minutes. But thank you all so much. This has been awesome. Awesome callers, awesome guest, awesome viewers, awesome world. And it's awesome tunes, Mary, right?
I love that song.
Final segment of today's show. Unfortunately, We could probably go all night long with the amount of people we've got on the line to talk with. Mary Dusina, episode number 1580. Can you believe that? I was just looking at the little promo there. I can't believe we've been going that long. And you know what? This year has gone by so quickly.
It has.
Yeah, next month we'll have our final show of the year with Mary. I'm looking forward to that already. But I want to dive right back into the calls. And we're going to go to Regla Girl. Because in the back of my mind, I remember we got cut off early with Regla at the end of the last phone-in. So I had said to her, make sure you phone in next time. She's here. Area code 619, Regla Girl. You're on with Mary.
Oh, hi, Kev. Thank you. Hi, Mary.
Thank you for making it valuable enough to really follow through from last month and say, you know what, I'm going to call back. I'm going to do it. So thank you. Kev and I notice those kind of things, and it means a lot. So thank you for that.
Oh, that was fabulous. I don't remember getting cut off, actually. So thank you.
I think it
well,
was.
your
I
name
think
sounds
it was
like
just,
sounds like a star.
No, I think
your
it
name
was just
sounds
we
like
ran
a
out of
star,
time.
regular.
Yeah, we had to cram it in at the very end. It wasn't very good at all. But Mary,
Okay, so we'll
Regla,
go quick.
over to
So we'll
you,
go
yeah.
quick because now she called back. So do you want me to pick the
quickly.
card?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to give you the
Yes,
card, or do you have a
thank
question? Okay. Okay, and remember, you guys
Pick a
that are on
card.
hold, I will. You also can get a reading. You can actually have all the minutes that you choose to get if you get an actual reading with me. And I want to say this for Kevin, Regular, bear with me. Please go over to YouTube and click on the little thumbs up like symbol, because when it comes to the world of algorithms, wanting to track everything down like trolls, it helps the channel expand its audience. If you'll just go ahead and click on that thumbs up and do that for Kevin, because
Thank
I
you.
do. Okay, so the Hermit.
Definitely.
Yeah, thank you, because it just takes that one little step, but it can bless Kev in a host of ways in his family. So the Hermit is here. This is usually an energy of Virgo, and so the Virgo element is Earth, like our full moon tonight, Taurus. And so it's saying there's something for you to look deeper into, as in organizing it or demystifying it or decluttering it out of the closets or the storage or the wonderfully correctly packed up Tupperware bins and cardboard boxes and all. I feel like that you need to unload some things. You need to unload some things. Now, unloading some things can be quite an exciting experience when you take it to the church or the homeless shelter or the veterans. I mean, when I give things away, I look for those animal places to benefit veterans and to benefit homeless families. So I take it there and say, this is great. So even though I broke up with it, theme of the eclipse, it's a whole new life for somebody else, for me to give some things of delight and wonder for them that they can't afford right now, and it tis the season. So within our psychological self, Regular, and I'll say this, and I'll quit, we have to do house cleaning deep inside ourselves as well. And this particular card is you're establishing some kind of wonderful foundation with your angels or your guides. Wonderful. I love what's coming forth, and you've plugged into something real rich.
Okay. Thank you.
I like it. Thank you for calling
honey.
in, Regla. Okay, let's move on now. And I
I
think
love that there was someone hollering in the back.
I know. Nothing like you just getting your psychic reading and then somebody comes in looking for you. Typical.
Full
right?
moon.
Yeah. So listen, I'm not sure if we've gone to this number before. I'm going to try it. Area code 828. It rings a bell, but maybe not. Are you there?
Hello?
Hey, you're on with Mary Desina. Welcome to the show.
This is Lisa. I already talked to you guys, but
See? Yeah, no,
I
see?
don't know how I've got you back on here a second time, but
No.
it's wonderful. Thank you.
My mistake. See, it's
I
one.
swear I'm sitting here at the gym parking lot looking at the moon, waiting for the show to get over to go in the gym. This is funny. Wow.
So Spirit says hello.
I don't know how I
Spirit
did that,
hello.
I swear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amen. I love
See now, nothing like embarrassing myself on my own show.
No, I love it. It's almost like it might have even been like, no, it's a Spirit butt dial. I love it. It's Spirit's like, go on back there and say something a little more, and then let's move on.
I
No,
bet you
let
she
me tell
nearly
you.
jumped out of her skin sitting there when the phone goes off. So anyway, we're going to go now hurriedly over to area code 586. Welcome
Okay.
to the show. You're on with Kev and Mary.
Hello, 506.
Greetings to both of you. Hi. Greetings to both of you. Thanks for taking my call.
Oh,
What a lovely
I like
voice.
that voice.
What a, what a
yes.
lovely energy. Thanks for the uplift. That was nice. Great voice.
Thank you.
Timbre and quality. Okay, I got a couple things for you. Unless you have a question, I got a couple things already loaded up for you, but I'm going to run through rapid fire.
You just go.
Thank you. Okay, you've got, I see a lush, abundant, like I see rows of a garden, and the person is holding gold in their hand, but the life garden looks like it's very organized, everything's ready to go, and it's not a seed anymore, it's just coming up. So either on the side of the world that's getting ready to have springtime, on my side of the world we're getting ready to go into frosty winter. So for you, it's springtime. So I don't know if that literally will mean spring of 2022, as well as that there's, some wonderful blooms and blossoms and things being able to emerge out of shelter and out of lockdown and out of a darkness of soul or mind or body. But your garden is happy and growing again. And that can be like, we never thought we'd go into romance again. And then, how does your garden grow? The other card is the person that's willing to take that first step forward, put that first big toe into the ocean to sense the temperature. I feel like that you have embraced your fears. You've sat down with them and said, enough. And now you're going to move forward and allow some really interesting episodes to manifest in your life. I look forward to January. I'm going to leave you with that. Look forward to January.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you both.
Wow, thank you. That call lit up the lines. Great voice, great energy, great vibration. Moving on to area code 231. Welcome to the show. You're on with Kev and Mary.
Full moon blessings.
Hello.
Another
well, thank
happy
you. Same
person.
to you.
I'll take it. Would you like a card, or would you like, or would you have a question, or you trust me to just pull the message?
Well, thank you both for being here and for the opportunity. For one, I appreciate it. And fire away, Mama. Do what you do.
Oh, I like it. I'm liking it.
Okay, I've got the number 5. And I'm now seeing hearts orbit around just like a halo would around my third eye. So what I feel is 5 is a number of invigoration. It's a number of the chaos turns into clarity. So even if there's been something that seems like it's literally every creature that we ever associate with the circus. Oh, now I'm in the trapeze. Up on the tight wire. Oh, here comes the lion and bringing the clown. So and you just hear the music playing in your head. Dun, 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 dun. So I feel like where everything's been like you look at the sky and you're like, what else? So I think, really?
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like
what's
that.
Next?
Sorry, it's been intense. I just had to, but I feel like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry because you've been through it. But the cups indicate calm waters ahead. The cups indicate that you kind of get outside the circus tent and you're looking back at it and you're seeing you're at the back of it now. You snuck out. You got away from it. You escaped. And now you're looking at all the people, as you use Kevin's word, going into the mayhem and the bedlam in the front part of the round temple, and you're just like, oh, they have no idea that they're going to first go on the roller coaster. So I feel like that what this means to you is that you now, we're all looking at what we value, what we now deem rich and prosperity and worth the investment of our time, our love, our money with this eclipse over the next 3 months. And you now value serenity. There's no tension in my home. I don't allow tension and fussing and fighting in my home. So you're like a stickler for your vortex, your sanctuary to be just that. There's got to be that space, that place where you can go and say, this is my world and this is where I am in a romance with spirit. And how you connect in with the divinity and how it just rains down upon you, and cleanses you. So more of that, please. More of that, please. Like go to that space, go into that room or that zone, because everything you've questioned for the last 19 years that didn't have a bow on it so you could put it up on the shelf and be done with it, or pass it on to the karmic thrift store in the sky, out there on the earthlands. I feel like that it's over. And you rode the wave and you came out on the other side. You were able to carry the burden, park the burden, go up and have the epiphany, and now you're going forward. But, those little little pieces that were like, what the heck did that come into my life for? All that is going to be able to be dotting the I, crossing the T.
Rode the wave and came out roaring. Couldn't have said
Wonderful.
it better. Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect.
Thank you, caller.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate you both. You have a wonderful
Happy Thanksgiving.
day. God bless you.
Thank you. I'll take it.
Thanks.
Oh, absolutely. What brilliant callers. Moving on quickly to area code 424. You are on the line with Kev and Mary. Welcome to the show.
Hello, 424.
Hello, Mary. Hello, Mary. Hello, Kevin. Thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity in the show. And my name is Feminem.
Feminem. Awesome to hear from you, Mary. Do your best.
I'll do it. I got it. Ooh, you got the Ace of Swords. So in the mystical legends and teachings and truth swirls of the Tarot, the Wheel of Fortune, there are four aces. There are only four aces in a traditional historical deck. And the aces are all spiritual hands of holy fire, grace, earth, water, but it's a gift. It's always a gift from spirit, the Almighty I Am. The Almighty I Am is present with you. And so you got the Ace of Swords, which has to do with the sword that can grant mercy, the sword that can deem knighthood, the sword that can actually cast someone and cut them out of their life. So the Ace of Swords is the hand of an angel, the hand of an angelic emissary or missionary of light, visionary of light, issuing forth from a cloud. You see this white cloud, and then you see this hand. And then in the hand, in the aces, in the four aces, there's always something of the hand is holding. You got the ace that has the laurel wreath of victory and the palm frond that says, and now new life. So the Ace of Swords, it's the realm of the air element, your thoughts, your mind, your singing, your writing, your reading, how you convey news, how you write and get the message across, and how you're able to work with words, the scribe, how you write it, how you say it. And of course the plus minus message would be, don't say it lest you mean it, say what you mean what you say. It's all around that whole element of how it gets to you, how you process it, your beliefs, and will you say what you feel, will you stand by what you know to be that which is your spirit anchor. So there's like declarations around you. There's all kinds of like declarations of evidence and truth and like, that's it. This is where I stand. It's strong with you.
You are spot on. You are spot on. Thank you. And thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Mary. And happy Thanksgiving. And thank you what you do for the planet.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for everything you do.
Thumbs up.
What a great call. So now we're coming over to my fine Isles from the UK. It's a mobile phone ending in 851. Welcome to the show. You're on with Mary Dusina.
Hello.
Hello, UK.
Hi there.
Do you have a question?
Can you hear? Yeah,
I can.
I'd just like you to pull a card. My name's Murray. Just like you to pull a card for me, please, Mary. Hi, Kev. How you doing?
Oh, Murray, great to hear from you, man. What an accent, ladies and gentlemen. We can't have him calling in too much more. He sounds better than I do. Murray, it's great to speak to you, brother.
Oh, I love the song and the lift in his voice. Oh, I love it. Such great medicine. See, right there. That's air element. That's the sound and the pitch and the timbre and how someone's literal sound of their voice, how that comes forth from the heartbeat and the throat. Oh, I love it. Thank you. It's the voice trumpet. So you got the 10 of Pentacles. This is a prosperity card. Right. This is looking at the family estate, looking at the family lineage, not from a DNA and me or me and thee or whatever that thing is. This has to do more with the what was the heart fire for the ancestors and the great uncles and the great grandmothers. What was the actual theme or priority of what that name, that lineage, that's what we've always, like some of us, I've always been a farmer. It's the fifth generation of farmers, or we've always been businessmen. It's like there's something about a dedication to tradition. like that song in the Fiddler on the Roof movie, the old movie, tradition, and it has to do with what their beliefs are and why tradition matters. So there's something about the traditional, there's something about honoring the ancestors, there's something about the value and the richness of that book, that journal, that piece of hair in the Bible, or whatever it is in your culture or your tradition, to where you can feel a strength sail through your lungs. You can just feel that there's pulsations in your purpose that come from those that walk alongside us. They simply slip their skin. They left the earth vehicle, but they're still in our line of duty, and they're still in our line of prosperity. And I feel that's very strong around you. So perhaps that'll be validated for you by you all of a sudden are just not planning to look somewhere, and there's an emblem or an heirloom or something that ties way back in your family line, or that you remember a story about. It could come in a dream. It could come that you meet someone with the surname, and all of a sudden you're just like, whoa, I heard that too. So there's something coming about the richness of your family traditions and lines, but I also feel like that there's going to be some kind of blessing, like literal blessings, that are coming on your current kin and current family members that are vital and, orbiting real closest in to you. So I feel like there's blessings on the actual clan or family.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much, guys.
Whereabouts in Scotland are you from, Murray? Whereabouts are you, man?
I'm from the deep, darkest parts of Argyll, Tarbert.
Oh, my stepdad, he comes from Oban. Yes, so I know your part of the country pretty well.
It's quite possible we might have crossed cannons at some time.
Ah, absolutely. He was an Oban Celtic man, so most probable. Dude, you have a great day.
Thank you very much, guys.
You have a great
day. You guys are,
and,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys just talked about tradition and lineage. I love it. Did you say you just connected about your side of the world?
Yeah, we certainly did. See, it all happens on the Kev Baker Show. Thank you for calling in, Murray. Wow.
Thank you, sir.
That was awesome. Awesome. And like a stone's throw away. You guys in America live in a vast, huge country. Over here, you would look at the distance between me and Murray and think, that's like a hop and a jump away. And great to hear.
But that's nice.
Yeah, it's great to hear a Scottish accent. And again,
absolutely,
somebody that knows his shinty. Oh, I miss my shinty. Don't get me started on that. But listen, we're going to move on. We've got 2 callers left. I think we're going to do it, Mary.
Here we go.
Area code 603. Welcome to the Kev Baker Show. You're on with me and Mary Dusina.
Hello?
Are you there?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Hey, this is Bob from New Hampshire.
Well, thank you for calling. Do you have a question, or would you like a card?
Hey, Kev and Mary, and just want to say, for a little synchronicity laugh, my daughter comes home and says, "Daddy, who is Medusa?"
Wow.
Yeah. And so I've been teaching her about it all week. And just for fastness, if I could just get some card or some intuitive stance right now, that's all.
All yours, Mary. All yours.
Thank you. I see a heart rising up, like I'm looking through an ancient type, or older certainly. It feels like I'm in Europe somewhere, haven't been, can't say for sure, but it would look European to me in my mind. And I'm seeing an arched window, and there's a beautiful heart that's just like right in the center of the panes of glass, and the sunlight's coming through it, creating that shard of light, that the angel slides, as I call them. And inside there is the nights, like the area for the night to be able to rest, and the night to be able to feel like that he can get his energy compensated for again after vision quest or battle or whatever. It's like the Knight's Cove, or it's his special place in the kingdom to where it is absolutely the sign, do not disturb. He is in his repose. He is in his regeneration mode, which is very Scorpio. You complete one mission, put it to rest, put the stuff up for a while, restore, head out again. So the Scorpio time of this year has been saying to you, as much as you want to jump forward, as much as you want to accomplish or speed ahead, you need to take repose and you need to rest. That maybe however you say that word, circadian rhythms, or something that's off with you, and it's time for you to break up with Taurus, break up with just maybe some of the ways that you would cope with that when that would spring up in your life. There's different ways for you to. Doesn't matter day or night. Your rest-restore cycle has been kind of shattered a little bit, so you need to find a way to supplement that in hopefully holistic ways rather than just force-fed. So there's something about you needing to not because of weakness, just because of balance, that you need to have a repose and a restoration of you to yourself instead of just all the distractions of work or family. You need to have that, how you doing, Bob? How you doing really, Bob? Talk with you so you can have some nice spiritual restorations because you know how to do it. They're just saying, now sit down and do it. That's what I get.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bob, thank you for calling in, brother. Well, we've done it. We're down to the last caller.
I love it. That which is meant to be on this
awesome.
epic eclipse. Epic historical eclipse.
I told everyone in the chat room, everyone listening out there, that they've really made my day. Always love a show with you. Always.
Thank you, Kev. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Always great. But, this has been the perfect way to round out the day. And as each call has gone on, it's just got better and better. And I'm sure that our last call of the day will be no different. So a big thank you to you as well, Mary, before we go there.
Thank you, Kev. Thank you, Kev.
Without you, there would be none of this. Okay, so we should all appreciate that very much. And I certainly appreciate you coming on once a month. As does area code 281. Welcome to the call, and you are our final caller of today. So welcome to the show. You're on with Kev and Mary.
Hi, my name is Tammy from Texas, and I would like just a general card.
Wow, you're in the power position, girlfriend. You're in the power position of the final call of the night. So I'd just like to remind everybody that the messages that are going to come out that are going to be first and foremost specific for her and her higher good also have some type of resonating sidebar message for each of us, including Kev and I. So this is the eclipse message. Here we go. So, and thank you for being that spoke in the wheel and the antenna that raised up higher for us tonight. You got the moon card. Oh, duh. The only person on an epic historical hasn't happened since 580 years ago, and now I've got the full moon card.
It had to happen. It had to happen, Mary.
And guess what? In the tarot, 17 is the star. Number 18, 18. That's today for me in my time zone. 18 is the moon. So, and it's a full moon with a crescent inside of it, which speaks to me about the Taurus and the Scorpio, and often the wolf and the dog that show up with the crayfish and the beautiful card of La Luna, the moon, our beautiful grandmother moon. And I feel for you, caller, I feel that there's pillars of balance here, and there's the reflection of the moon on the body of water that's very calm. And of course, there's the coyote, or in some decks, the wolf that's howling at the moon, like feeling the vibrations of it. And often a wolf or a coyote will yip, yip, yip and call its pack in to begin whatever sojourn they're going to do for the night. And so what's happening is the loyalty part of you, and that which you're deeming to now be rich enough, be it a person, a place, or a thing, that you will decide that it will receive both your gratitude and your loyalty. So for you, loyalty and reliability is a big deal. And so maybe that's the qualities that we're all to look at as well with your message, that how are we reliable? How are we loyal to our word and our love and our commitment and our task? So that's the way the audience would take the message. For you, you already knew that loyalty was going to be the big game changer for you, plus or minus. The final card is strength, bringing in the Leo energy. The strength card is the 8th card in most traditional tarot decks, and the turning of the 8 has to do with the sign of Scorpio, the infinity, the cosmic lemniscate. And strength for you, caller, has a lot to do with your power of spirit, not whether you're male, female, old, young. It doesn't matter, left, right, whatever. You realize now that you have, you're a force to be reckoned with. I can feel that with you, by the way. You're a force to be reckoned with when need be, but here's the kicker. You don't waste it. You don't waste it. You don't go fierce, fast, and furious unless it's to defend So if you get offended, you know how to take that. You know how to process and transmute that. But if you need to defend something or someone that you love and you deem valuable, yeah, hell hath no fury. That'll match up with how you would be the first one to step up as that warrioress and as that brave heart and say, you'll get through me. If you get through me, you'll get through me before you get to that. There's something of a fighter in you. Do you know that? Or has that been around you recently? Because it's strong. Did we lose you?
I am a Scorpio.
Okay.
No, I'm here. I'm here. Yeah, I am a fighter. I'm a Scorpio. So.
Okay.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, so you choose your battles wisely, because what did I say at the beginning of the show about we Scorpios? We'll sting ourselves. We can cause self-defeat before we'll let someone else win the war.
Absolutely.
It's a really good reading. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that makes us fierce warriors for that. But our discrimination, our discernment is a spiritual battleground or spiritual warfare. We have to decide. We have to decide what's worth.
Time. I want to thank the caller for calling in today. And I want to thank all of the callers for calling in today. What a show. And we have all had a fresh injection of positivity, enthusiasm, just a good feel vibe all round. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I want to thank Mary Dusina for doing what she does and for being who she is. She'll be back here next month again. Remember, folks, try and stay sane under the half-blood Beaver Moon. I'll be back tomorrow with Freaky Friday. Until then, wherever you are, make it TFR and Denny touch that dial. There we go, and we're still on with YouTube and with Twitch right now. And Mary, again, I'll play some music to take us out, and we'll arrange our next date. But on behalf of the audience, I want to thank you for another brilliant show. That was really good.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate the audience so much, their loyalty, their patience, and most of all, Kev, for their ability to transform and trust it.
Yep. I like that. I like it. They go with the flow. We go in many directions here on the Kev Baker Show, but this is one direction I am definitely glad in which we went, and we continue to go. And I want to thank you all for being here. Remember, Freaky Friday tomorrow. 3 hours of the weirdest high strangeness that we can come across. We guarantee that. And then on Sunday, I'll be back with our 3-hour plus live stream over on the other Kev Baker Show YouTube channel, where you can get memberships over there. And if you would like to support the show, please click the PayPal in the description. It would be very, very much appreciated. But don't be obligated, and it's only for those who can. So with that said, again, I want to thank Mary Desina for being here today. I want to thank all of you for being here today. Keep it real, folks, and I'll be back before you know it.